So getting a yes from a landlord doesn't have to be something that you lose sleep over. It doesn't have to be the hardest part of getting a brand new Airbnb. Once you truly have the fundamental understanding going into these conversations, not only will you feel a lot better, but you will be able to get significantly more yeses. Hi, so if you don't know me, my name is George. I've been able to build a multiple six-figure Airbnb business in about 3 years now. And I've done that predominantly through arbitrage. So that means I am negotiating with landlords before every single deal and getting them to say yes and partnering with them to set up my listings. And to add to that, me and all of the people that I've helped build the Airbnb business, which is a separate conversation, at our peaks when we were getting new deals, like I have a 96% yes rate on all of my landlords negotiations, and a lot of people I've helped have been able to get to like an 80% yes rate. So what that means is that for every 10 people you speak with, 8 of them say yes and 2 of them say no. So you get to a point where you start choosing who you want to work with. So it's possible. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm not here to sell you a script or give you a word by word explanation on what to say and when to say and what cues and what you're looking for and just tips and tricks. I'm here to truly give you the fundamental understanding behind how you should be approaching these conversations with landlords to be able to increase your yes rate, if you will. Essentially what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be reframing your belief systems around these conversations that you're having with landlords to the point where it's not you trying to beg them or convince them, but it's actually the other way around, where they're convincing you why their home will be a good listing for you. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. Also, if you take notes and stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to give you a bonus that will almost guarantee you making an extra $20,000 to $50,000 a year every single year if you follow this step correctly. So stick around to the end because I think this is going to be very, very valuable for you. And yes, take notes on this, but most importantly, I want you to really pay attention and truly understand what I'm trying to tell you. So to get a landlord to say yes, what you have to do first is you need to understand them. You need to look at things from their perspective for 1 second and see what problem that you can solve, because everybody has a problem that they need solved. And what is a landlord's problem? What do they need to be solved? Landlords have a house that they do not want to pay for. They're looking for a passive investment. So they buy a house for the incredible amount of benefits that comes with buying a home, but they're using it for long-term investments. So they want to buy a house and not think about it for at least a decade. Okay, so what don't they want? They don't want to pay out of pocket for this every single month. They don't want a tenant that's going to destroy or vandalize their property. They want that consistent income coming in every single month. So these are pains that landlords are seeking to avoid. And I can bet that if you're not getting the yeses that you want, it's because you're not covering any of these pain points for them, which is exactly what you should be doing. You should be, first of all, having a conversation with them. You're not trying to sell them or convince them of anything. You're trying to solve the problem. They have a problem. Every investor who has a house has a problem that needs to be solved, and that's how can I get the most occupancy, get the most from my house, and get the least amount of time output in that investment. You come in as somebody who can solve all of those 3 problems, but to solve those problems, you need to understand which one of those problems are the biggest pains for them, which tend to be turnovers. So if you don't know this, a landlord's biggest turnover is when there's a move in and a move out, because they sometimes have to repaint the wall. There's sometimes damages that need to cover. Sometimes there's an eviction, so they have to pay those costs. There's so many costs that come with consistent tenant turnovers. That's their biggest cost. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be coming in and solving these problems. The first and honestly the biggest way you can solve this problem is by guaranteeing to them that not only will you pay every month and pay on time, but that you will be a long-term tenant. Because what you want to do if you are doing arbitrage is you want to sign a 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5-year lease. Of course, you want to make sure the numbers make sense. This is exactly what you want to be doing, signing these longer-term leases. And that's going to give them the conviction that they're not going to have to worry about turnovers happening. Okay, that's one. Number 2, what you're going to be doing as well is you're going to be getting professionals in this house, Airbnb guests, corporate leases. You're going to be getting people in this house. What they don't want is somebody to come in and vandalize that house. So how do you solve that problem? By letting them know that every single guest is vetted and ID checked before they get into the property. That way you can confirm every single individual that's going to be in the house, and that you're going to have security systems. So like Minute is a noise decibel reader that tracks the decibels in the house. So if it gets too loud, then you get notified and they get a call. The guest gets a call saying, hey, it's too loud. And if they're throwing a party, it can be shut down very, very quickly. You have security systems. You have cameras in the front of the house. You have all these things that are going to be located in the house to fortify the house to ensure that any damage or any negative thing happening gets mitigated as much as possible. Okay? That's 2. And 3, after every reservation, there's going to be a clean. You're going to be cleaning the house anywhere from 2 to 4 times per week. And something a landlord is surely worried about is someone damaging or vandalizing their property. So if you can tell them, so all you have to do is let them know you have a cleaning team. A crew is going to be here after every checkout, and they're going to take pictures. They're going to look at the state of the house. You are incentivized, you yourself as a host, you're incentivized to keep the property in tip-top shape, because that's how your business runs. Your business runs on quality stays every single time. So it is more important for you as the host to have a clean place, a spotless place every single time than for it to be for the owner, because for you, it affects your entire business. And you want to let them know that, and you want to give them the confidence that you're going to be taking over their property, but you're going to be managing it and running it well, because that's how your business runs. So what you're doing is you're tackling every single one of their problems. Turnover for them is going to be a problem. Not knowing who's going to be in and out of the house and if there's going to be parties is going to be a problem that you're solving. And then cleaning the place and make sure the place remains in tip-top shape. All of these are problems that you're going to be solving for them. So they're not going to see you as a liability or someone that's a risk. They're going to see you as a benefit to them, because you're more incentivized to take care of their property than an average tenant would. This is exactly how I've been able to negotiate almost like a 95% yes with all of the landlords, to the point where I now just pick the best deals for me and the landlords that I want to work with, because you do want to be picky about the landlords that you work with. Some landlords are going to be on your neck like all the time, and you don't want that. You want someone who's hands-off, carefree, cares about their property, is there when you need them, but for the most part, they just leave you alone to operate your business, and because they have other things to worry about. That's the kind of landlord that you want, and you want to pick and sift through for and filter for that type of landlord, because you don't want to just get a yes from anybody and then operate it, because then you're putting yourself at a disadvantage, because if something bad happens, it might come back to you. You want to pick and choose who you want to work with. When you take things from this perspective, people want to come to you and then beg you not only manage their houses, but manage all of their houses, because they now get to consolidate 30 houses to one person, 15 houses to one person, instead of having 25 different tenants. So this is how I approach speaking to landlords to get yeses all around. Now, if you want to take this a step further, and this is the bonus, so I want you to take notes on this one, because this is how I personally add an extra $100,000 to $300,000 per year in my business. And I'm going to tell you how, because this is crazy. What I do is I look for investors who are looking to buy 1 to 3 houses every single year, and I partner with them specifically. The reason I do this is because once I've convinced them that I'm going to be a good asset for them, I don't have to re-convince them again. I have that partnership, I have that relationship. So what I do now is every time they buy a house, I could either negotiate to get 1 or 2 a house, but what I've noticed happen for myself is they just bring me houses. Every time they buy a house, it's now just given that I'm going to be the one running it and managing it. So when they buy 1 to 3 houses every single year, I now run it and I grow my portfolio organically, like so. But now imagine if you have 2, 3, 5 investors that buy 1 to 3 houses every single year in different places. Now you're no longer negotiating with landlords. Now you're choosing who you want to work with, and you get to choose the house that you want to take on. If they want to buy a house but it doesn't work with your numbers, you can tell them to do it for long-term rental. But what you're going to find to happen is they're going to ask you what kind of house that you would want to run in your business that will allow you to take over and manage that property. This is how I scaled my business so extremely quickly with short-term rentals and simply just co-hosting or managing properties. I simply partner with investors. And if you want to take it one step further, which is something I don't really tell anybody, this is really just reserved for my private clients, but you can actually start negotiating equity deals in these houses for a slightly lower management fee. So let's say you take 20%, you can negotiate either 15 or 10% for a percentage in the equity. So if the house ever sells, you get a percentage of the appreciation. So these are kind of the little tips and tricks that you can use yourself, not only to get a yes, but to grow your business organically and not have to negotiate every single time with different landlords. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you got tremendous value from this video and you've been able to get actionable steps that you can use as early as today. Now, if you've been interested in starting your own Airbnb business, but you don't really know how to start because there's tons of information out there, I actually have a free 4-hour Airbnb Masterclass in 2026 that will teach you 90% of everything that you need to know all in one place. Instead of watching 1,000 YouTube videos, you can watch just one video that'll give you everything that you need to know to actually jumpstart your Airbnb journey. I'm going to put that in the link below. Hope you got value, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.